Hi guys, it's Miss Crystal here, and this week we are talking about travel. I'm actually going to be talking about a German activity today. So what I have for us today is a paper German star, just like this. My coloring looks a little bit messy, but if you scroll forward in the video, you'll see why. So I know whenever I think about paper folding, I think of the Japanese art of origami. And the funny thing is a lot of cultures have created their own ways of folding paper into shapes. Basically, if a culture like Germany or Japan has paper, they found a way to fold it and to make things. So I have a paper star for us today. Let's go over what we need for this project. All right, so the materials that you're going to need today are some white paper. You can use construction paper if you want, but I find that the white paper is a little bit easier to fold, and you're going to want at least 2 pieces because we need to tape them together like this. And on that note, we're going to need some tape or glue if you'd rather use glue, some scissors, and some colors if you need to color your white paper. So the first thing we need to do is we need to cut our paper into 1/2 inch little strips. So about 1/2 inch is, I'm going to use my ruler to be precise, but if you're not exact, that's fine. It's about this much, and you're going to want to do this 4 times if you've already taped your paper together, or 8 times, and you're just going to tape them later. I'm going to tape my papers together first, and then tape. Okay, now that I have my strips of paper, I'm going to fold them in half, and I'm going to cut along the edge at about a 45-degree angle, which is going to look like this. It's going to look like this, and this is just to make it easier to weave later, and you're going to do this with all 4 strips. I colored my strips 4 different colors to make it easier for you guys to follow along while I make it, but you guys can pick any colors you want, or you can just keep the paper white. It's up to you. Alright, now that all 4 of my strips are taped together and cut and folded, we're going to start with our weaving process. So we're going to start with a basic box weave. So what you're going to do is you're going to pick 1 strip, and that's going to be your base one. You're going to have it creased side up, pointed side down facing you. Here, let me zoom out. So we have it like this. Again, mine's really messily colored. Don't worry about it. And then you're going to pick your second one, and the pointed side is going to essentially kind of eat the other pointed side, kind of like a crocodile, if that makes sense. So it's going to go in one, over the other, kind of go through. It's a little bit hard to do with one hand. And then you're going to pick your next one. Mine's going to be red. And it's going to be the same. You're going to take pointed end to pointed end, feed it through like that. And finally, yellow. Pointed end to pointed end, except this time it's also going to go through the closed end on our green one. And it's going to go over. No, under. It goes, the top one goes under the green, in between the 2 green flaps, and the bottom one goes under. So we have our base. Then all we need to do is we need to pull the pointed ends on each side until it forms together to form a tighter knit box, which will look like this. So now we got it looking like this. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take each of these flaps and kind of bend it the opposite way. So red, the bottom top one, is just going to go up. The yellow top is going to go left over the red, and you're going to do that on each side till you may get another box pattern. But you're going to do a separate step for the green one, which will look like this. Right, so once you're here, when you fold over the top green one, you're going to weave it through the red thing right here. So it'll look like this, and all you have to do is just pull it all the way through, and that will lock the whole box weave into shape. All right, we got our box with the weave into shape, and now we're going to move on to the next part, which is where things start getting a little bit trickier. What you're going to do is you're going to, on each of these sides, you're going to take the left one, so in my case, the purple one, you're going to fold it right at a 90-degree angle like this, so you get a triangle. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to fold this up just like that, and then fold it over on itself. So now it looks like this, and you're going to fold, or you're going to take the top of this little purple flap, and you're going to feed it through the green right there. You'll get something that looks like this, and you're going to rotate your thing 90 degrees angles, and you're going to do the exact same thing on each side. In order to help you keep track of which side is getting folded, it's going to be the shorter of the two ends. All right, once you've done that on all four sides, it should look something like this. So then the next step would be to take this kind of pinwheel shape you have and flip it upside down, and we're going to do the exact same thing. You're going to take one here, fold it to the left, fold it up like that, so you keep the little triangle, fold it over on itself, and fold and feed it through again like this. So this is what it's going to look like when you're all done. I went ahead and I taped my things down just because I didn't like the way they were sticking up. But what you're going to do now is you're just going to kind of cut off all this excess stuff right here, all these extra little strips of paper. So it'll look like this. And there you have it, your finished German paper star.